grow, we'd solve the mystery of life.
Also gifted me the matching brush set for Christmas. So I'm just gonna open that up here. And so I've already used some of the brushes, obviously. But they have these pretty stems. I love mint blue. Everything I own is mint blue. The brushes are very thick, but you can kind of tell that they come off a little bit, and they have like the thick bigger brushes, but then they also come with the little teeny tiny brushes, which I think are really cool. I'm excited to use those ones. Most of my teeny tiny brushes I get from Hobby Lobby. I'm obsessed with Hobby Lobby. I get most of my art stuff from there. My oval canvases, my circle canvases, everything I get is literally from Hobby Lobby. I travel all the way over to Buffalo just to go to Hobby Lobby. This one's my absolute favorite brush out of the pack. Very pretty. It's very, very soft. It's the softest brush out of all of them in the pack. I don't know why this one is the only one with different bristles on it. There's the kind of this cute cream package, which I love. I'm really excited. I'm gonna do the full painting with just these brushes and see how it works, and I'll let you guys know how the paints feel compared to acrylics, which is what I'm used to. I'm not used to watercolor at all. I think I've used it a handful of times, like in art classes and stuff like that, but I'm excited. I think I should have added water to it. It's kind of going on a little bit streaky. I'll show you what I have so far. So basically I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to grab some of the green. I'm going to put it on, and it kind of like, yeah, all paints do that, but then when it dries, see how it's getting like a little bit bubblier? Like it's drying, almost like it's trying to dry in between the cracks. So I feel like I had to put on a really thick layer when I was painting. But I'm definitely going to let it dry and then add acrylic on top of it, because I really want more defined lines as opposed to like the spotted watery look. But I really like how oily it turned out when I did it really thick. And I'm excited to add acrylic on top of it. I'm gonna add some of these so that I can get this kind of glowy glittery effect, and I'm gonna add that as well, fix up the eye, and go through that. So just to show my progress, these are the only 3 brushes that I didn't end up using. And yes, I totally paint the background last. My art teacher did not like me doing that in high school. But this is kind of like a painting. I think it goes on a lot like oil. I'm definitely going to try again using a little bit of water, and I'll let you know how that kind of interacts. It was really hard to add the white afterwards, even though I left a space for the white to be added, just because anything that gets close enough to the white gets added in right away because it's so oily. But I really like the outcome. Obviously it's going to take a really long time to dry. I did end up using this as a palette, as people use in like TikTok and stuff like that. I also did see people were saying that they ended up using the lids and stuff like that because they didn't want to waste the paint, but obviously as you can see, like I did use a lot of color and there's no dent in my paints at all. So I'm probably just going to throw out the lids and go from there. But I think it turned out pretty good for now. I'm definitely going to be adding some acrylics, especially in like the little corners like this, re-adding more acrylic to make it a pure white. I'm going to be adding more acrylic to get that definite wisp. I have a way thinner brush that obviously this one didn't come with the brush this thin, but I'm definitely going to go through when it's fully dry and get that proper wisp and get that perfected eyeball and stuff like that. Add a little bit of tinfoil to the eyeball to give it that shine, and then add more of a wisp of definition here and especially on the edges there. I think the ear turned out the best color wise. I ended up actually starting with this purple, going in with this pink, and then just adding pure whites and grays. And I think it really gives that cool definition, especially from far away. It looks more defined. But I'm definitely, like I said, going to have to go in and get that more wispy look as soon as this dries. I'm not 100% sure how long this paint takes to dry. Now I'm going to wash my brushes. I'm going to show you my favorite conditioner that I use for my brushes too. Usually what I do is I properly soak them. Sometimes I'll add natural soap, like I'll do African black soap to the brushes, just to the bristles. And then I go through it. I make sure I'm always using boiling hot water. I actually have a brush cleanser. It's a brush cleanser and preserver. It cleans oil paints, watercolors, acrylics, stains, everything. And it's really easy to use. It is my favorite thing ever, and it smells like lemons. It smells amazing. I get it from Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. I think I paid maybe $10-14 for it. It literally is amazing. I love it. I think the black paint was so thick. I wish I didn't use it with these new brushes, just because I'm worried that they're never going to, you know, when you look at something and you're like, wow, I just ruined the newness of that. And that's something that I'm upset about. But I love that the black is thick, because a lot of acrylic blacks, they're not true black. Once they get added on top of something, it's like, oh, it's kind of dull. And I think this one looks amazing, and so I'm very happy. I wish I just would have used it with less dense brushes, less thick brushes, less round brushes. So that way they would be a little bit easier to clean. Like this one brush that I told you was my favorite brush, it is like black now. But beauty is pain, and my artwork turned out beautiful, so I'll have to suck it up. But this is like my new favorite brush, like hands down. So after letting it dry, you can kind of see a few little cracks actually throughout the painting now. The white part, obviously, because it's on so thick, is still a little bit tacky. I'm gonna go through in with these really thinner brushes just to get the wispy look of it. I'm gonna fix up the white, and I'm gonna add a little bit to the eyeball as well. But so far I think it looks really good, and I'm happy with the outcome of this specific paint as well. So this is what it looks like after I've added a couple white pieces. Obviously still thick. I added the wispy accents and stuff like that, so I think that's good. I'm gonna wait. I'll give it a full 24 hours before I add the yellow, but I'm gonna upload anyways. So that's the end of today's video, my review for these. It's amazing paint. I think everyone should definitely try it, especially if you really like oil, but I know oil can be expensive, or if you've never used oil and you want a medium that's kind of right in between, or if you love acrylics. I mean, all around this paint's amazing. I think it's great that it's versatile, that you could use it for water, you could use it for acrylic, you could use it for that thick layering effect as well. I think that's amazing. I'm really excited to see how this turns out after I add the acrylic on top. I think too, because a lot of the reviews said that this dries a little bit dull, whereas acrylics, you can kind of still get it to dry with that shiny effect. So adding that on top might be a little beneficial for me. I'm really excited to see how that turns out. and just the definition. I'll post the finished product as well. It'll also be uploaded on my Instagram too, at way too shabby.